All right, so for
No
those
worries.
for that saw the cut, we had some technical difficulties with our communications, but we're back for a few more minutes. I actually had one more thing I wanted you to go over real quick before we are done here, and I did the same thing with Ethan and Kulik. Do you have any like buys that you think are potential or drivers or any cars you think that are potentially good buys for people who are listening that are either low end or even a little bit higher end that you think could help them out?
Um, I personally liked I personally liked your segment on what your bias were. I agree. The Fernando Alonso. I stupidly didn't. I didn't. I just thought to myself, oh, I wanted to get a masterclass. The recent tops now, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna buy 5 of those. I think that's his rookie. I don't know if he has a rookie, but I didn't do any
Yeah.
research or anything, right? And then I watched your stuff, and I was like, damn, I'm stupid, right? No, but I think Fernando Alonso. I mean, like I think any like people will disagree to a certain extent. I've seen some disagreements on the X world champions.
Yeah.
But we're spending a lot. It goes back to the idea of like, do you buy goats or is it better to buy prospects? And a lot of old timers will tell you like you just buy the goats, right? I mean that's where
Yeah.
the money is at. That's why Hamilton is like absolutely one of the safest buys in all of this because I mean I don't know if we'll ever see another 7-time world champion. Um, so you're talking. It's hard enough to win one. Try go ask Kimmy that, right? I'm sure
Yeah.
Kimmy will have the things that he tell you that how he missed it all those years right afterwards. I mean, but I think Kimi Raikkonen. I mean, I honestly like I love the characters.
Yeah.
And Kimi is by far the most ridiculous character I think
Oh,
in
he is so
F1.
like out there. Like I like my all time like one of my favorite Kimmy moments just happened where he was doing that one like champion countdown, and he didn't realize that if he missed a question he could leave.
Yeah,
So like he keeps going. He's like, how many more do I have to do? And they go, oh, you go till you miss. And he goes, oh, I won
yeah,
the championship 2 years in a row. Okay, I'm
yeah,
leaving.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, like, and you know what? And I was trying to pick up some Kimmy stuff when it but I just it's one of those things. A matter of circumstances. Didn't pick up some Kimmy stuff when I could have and I should have. But yeah, I wanted to pick up a couple. I think a couple of those guys. I mean, I think Vettel is not done, guys. Vettel is not
No,
done.
he is not.
Definitely the guy. I mean, the guy's a 4-time world champion. Yes, maybe he didn't have enough gas in his car, but
Yeah.
he still did a great job chasing down Ocon for that. I mean, Ocon didn't make any mistakes.
Yeah.
But you start looking at next year, right? I mean, I think it's a good thing to start thinking about next year, right? Let's think about next year. Let's just hypothetically say that maybe Kimi doesn't leave, and Valtteri ends up at Williams, and we don't really have too much of a shakeup in the seats. I think everybody's really banking on it. I mean, you look at their development that they're going through.
Hmm.
A lot of teams are banking on next year. They're thinking like I can move up into the midfield or top end of the midfield, or the midfield's thinking I'm gonna be in the top 2 cars next year
Yeah.
because I have a chance. They statistically have a chance. Everybody like the playing field has been leveled to a point where because of the cost caps, because of the new requirements that they're going to try to make this thing more competitive, and it very well could become more competitive. Which means there could be a lot more different winners than just Max and Hamilton.
That's so.
Right?
This exact point is the reason why I'm buying Leclerc. Like, like Ferrari spends too much damn money to be running around as like a fifth, like the fifth best team on the grid. Like, it's just like they spend too much money for that. Like, and like, sure, like they're probably like I wouldn't be surprised if they come out like, but I could say this for a bunch of teams. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out when they were the second or even first bet place team on the grid. Because like it's
Oh,
such a question mark next year. They're like, sure, I'll take the chance on Leclerc. He's a top driver. Like, and if Ferrari, God forbid, because they can never seem to do right, but if they could finally find a good car, like they had like not even like give me like 75% of the car Schumacher had in 2004.
yeah,
Like, and like Leclerc and Sainz like will win races and they'll be big names and potentially if you're buying them, they'll make you money to buy other stuff. But like that's why it's so wide open. Like I think you just have to buy the best true drivers. Like Danny Rick's
Yeah,
not having the best year, but like I said like if you were to ask last year, everybody would say Danny Rick's a top 5 driver in F1.
yeah,
So like, and it's like
yeah.
he's struggling this year, but like, who's to say Lando doesn't struggle next year with a new car?
Oh,
Like,
I really hope that doesn't happen
oh,
to
I'm not.
Travis.
I hope it doesn't, but like
Right.
that something like that could easily just as like easily happen. So
Yeah.
like, it's just ridiculous to think about that.
I mean, we're in a field where performance matters, right? I mean, regardless. I mean, unless your name is Fernando Alonso, right?
Yeah,
I mean, he can come back and everybody can love Fernando again. I mean, love him or hate him, right?
yeah,
But and regardless of if he wins, right? I mean, he reminded Hamilton what it's like to be behind him.
yeah,
So you know what? I mean, certain things like that can bump up somebody's stuff. And I mean, honestly, with the way the playing field is leveled, I mean, you could actually, I personally, if I can find really low numbered of anybody,
yes.
you're
That's yeah.
talking, yeah. I mean, I would say within your top drivers of each
Team.
team. But also like even second drivers, like I would say like for me, like I'm a big Gasly fan too, but you're talking Gasly and Tsunoda are fast enough, right? I mean,
Yeah,
if the AlphaTauri car becomes a sister car versus the junior car, like um they could be, I mean, they could be on a couple podiums, and that's all they need, right? I mean, you're talking
yeah,
like I think Carlos Sainz is a absolute great buy because I mean he's showing that he can be as good as Leclerc on any day,
yeah,
right? And honestly, when it comes to, for me, like I like Charles, I like Carlos. It feels like those guys just make the tiniest mistakes at the tiniest times,
and
and
they
it
just
just
get
like
destroyed by them. Yeah,
right. I mean, it's just like Leclerc's, um, you know, that pole in Monaco and going. I mean, like, geez,
yeah,
man, you had it, right? So that kind of stuff, and it just seems like that kind of stuff has been happening, and fortuitously for Norris. Other than that Bottas rear end,
yeah.
um, I mean, he might have been in the top 3 or 4 easily on that one,
Oh, for
right? I mean, he
sure.
could have been contending, right? So I mean, you're talking like it's a lot of the times with these races, it seems like the guys that hang in fourth, fifth, sixth always statistically got a chance if Max blows a tire on the straightaway on lap 57 or whatever that was, right?
Yeah,
Um, you're talking stuff like that where no race. I mean, you could even get rain and it just screws everything up. Or I mean, Hamilton. I mean, like people would be like, "Whoa, that was a huge mistake by Hamilton," and I'm like, "Well, I mean, you got to think of it from his point. He can't talk to his team. Um, is he gonna go to the box? And if everybody else stays out there, you got to play that in your mind as you roll up on that pit entry and be like, well, we're gonna go and get out in front, or we're gonna go and hopefully nobody goes and they made the right decision, right? So I mean,
yeah,
you're damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't, and whatever can come out. And Esteban Ocon, I like the guy. I mean, definitely when I get a chance to pick up a good Esteban Ocon auto for $200 or $100, will I do it? Absolutely, because I mean, you never know. He might win 2 more races. I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean,
yeah,
but it's definitely hard to buy racers in a sense that are trending down or you don't know what their futures are. So, like, say for instance, there's talk about Antonio Giovinazzi. Like, yeah,
yeah,
he's there, but he's not. He could not be there, right? I mean, depends on how Ferrari wants to deal with that situation. I mean, you're talking Nicholas Latifi to a certain extent, right? He may, like, they're saying now that hey, they don't need the financial backing of the pay
Latifi.
drivers. I
Yeah,
mean, so stuff like that. Schumacher staying at Haas. I mean, like, you're like,
that's. I
oh
was gonna bring up. I think Schumacher like he like if you buy him like you have to be prepared to hold for a few years. But like I
yeah,
think like it's not a question of if, it's when he goes to Ferrari eventually. I think it's gonna happen. Like it makes
yeah,
too much sense. It's just how long are you willing to wait for that call up that's gonna happen. Like I would say I'm 75% sure Schumacher will go to Ferrari at some point. But
Yeah,
it's just,
I mean,
how long are you willing to wait for that to happen, to hold up that capital when you could be buying other stuff?
great. I mean, and on top of that, like what people don't realize, like I like George Russell as a racer, right? I mean, he's
Yeah.
great, but you never know. Like, I mean, people are buying George Russell like there are no tomorrow, right? But he gets to
Yep.
Merc and he has 2 bad races, right?
And he'll be so
What does that
yeah.
do? It'll destroy his card, right? But here's the thing: it's like, look at it. It's like Danny Rick has been there for a whole half a season and he still hasn't figured it out. And Sergio Perez is still saying the same thing. It's like something else driving this Red Bull. So
Yeah.
I mean, you start looking at it and it's like, and on top of that, like I personally believe that Valtteri Bottas is seriously the greatest Robin to freaking
Batman.
Hamilton's Batman. I mean, you're talking like he's even though he's had some slips down the road, but he's done what he's needed to be done and be part of that team, and that's got him some wins here and there too. So it's not without saying that he's gotten his too, but George Russell, he's got to wait out Hamilton, and you know what? They're gonna favor Hamilton because they, for the Mercedes name, they want that 8-time world champion. Hell, if it's a 9-time world champion too, like if they can get 10-time, they'll keep on giving it to Hamilton. But that's the deal. It's gonna be like it's gonna be like Pierre Gasly. Not saying that Gasly wasn't ready. He probably was brought up prematurely, but it's gonna be like the pressure that Gasly felt going into Red Bull and having that Red Bull curse as a second driver, because you're dealing with a talent that could be better or equal to yours on your best day, and even better than yours, and by leaps and bounds on your worst day. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of pressure for these guys, especially because performance matters. And who knows, right? So yeah, I mean, I think some of just your midfield guys, there's a lot of chance in there. And buying world champions is not a bad thing. I mean, I can understand, like, yeah, those guys are of a different era, but you know what? They're still around. They still generate headlines, and you're talking that regardless of where we're at right now, the people that are watching now might be brand new people to F1, but the people that were watching when Kimi was winning and when Vettel were winning, they could still be coming into the card market.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, that like the people who watched Vettel and Kimi, like those are the guys you would expect to have bigger pockets than the guys coming in now, because they're farther in life, they have more potential income, like those are the people you would expect in the next couple years if they come around to cards. Like those are some of the guys who are like, oh, I remember when Vettel won all those championships. Like, let's go see what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, there's that kind of potential. Like, I mean, I think I think F1 cards are so alien to some people that it's just like, oh, well, that's just F1. That's like NASCAR, right? I mean,
I love my NASCAR card, so you better choose your words wisely.
Right, but you know, like, I mean, as a whole, right?
I know 100% what you're talking about.
Such a global, and what people I tell my friends, it's like, what you collecting is like F1 cards, and it's because when you think about it, like F1 is global. It's global. I mean, it's like soccer.
It has
like
F1 right now, like it's funny how these like content creators can't wrap their mind around the F1 card. Like they just can't, like they're like, oh, it's a pump and dump. But I'm gonna like say this, like these same people will eat their words so hard, because I remember this exact conversation when soccer took off. Oh, who's gonna buy a soccer card? Nobody buys soccer cards. They're a waste of time. Guess what? Soccer's probably like the second or third biggest popular market right now. It's probably like, as much as I hate to say it, the soccer market has way more hype than like the baseball card market. Like, and I remember when people are saying, "Oh, it's just soccer cards." Like nobody watches soccer in the U.S. And it's like, but like when you're telling me when the people in the United Kingdom and people in Europe finally start getting into cards and they start buying, that's where it comes like the content creators in the U.S. are too self-centered in themselves to think about the bigger picture of how many like millions of people watch F1 because last year F1 was the biggest growing digital media presence. That means like it was the highest growing. Like more people are watching F1 than ever before in the history compared to every single other sport across the world.
Oh, yeah.
Fastest
Yeah.
growing sport, and you're gonna tell me that like, oh, nobody's gonna buy it. Like it's just
Yeah.
like it's ridiculous. Like that people just can't like get out of yourself for 5 minutes and like people are just hypocrites. Like I know people like on YouTube who are like, oh, I'm buying Pulisic because I'm
Yeah.
the soccer guy. But like, are you really buying Pulisic? Or are you just trying to buy because people say to buy soccer cards? Like,
Yeah.
you can't. Like my biggest thing is, like I would collect soccer, but I don't know it, so I stay away from it. But like if
Yeah.
but like I can't say like to collect. Like if you say to buy soccer cards, you can't say to not buy F1 cards. You're just being a hypocrite because they're the exact same points being made. That it's the
Yeah.
global entity that everybody watches it. Like you can't sit here and say that about soccer, but say it about F1. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, and it's crazy too because this F1 is just not F1, right? I mean, F1 is like, I mean, I when I get bored, I go watch Twitch videos on YouTube with Max and Lando battling out and
Like on
Lando
iRacing, yeah,
yeah, talking crap to Max when I can't get my fix, right?
yeah.
But yeah, like you're saying, it's like, I mean, it's just that, hey, it isn't the household name, but there definitely is. I mean, it's a hobby, right? I mean, it's like if you love it, you should go and make it part of your life, right?
Yeah.
If you're looking at it from a totally monetary standpoint, then fine, you'll always be. You won't have that insight. You might get some of it. You might be able to fish some of that information out, but you'll never understand the true psyche of like what it is to
Okay.
collect and what we're
I
doing.
wanna
Right?
I wanna bring this point up, and I think this is probably the popular opinion in the Discord. If this opinion is popular in Discord, this opinion would probably get slandered on YouTube. But like Sasha buying the F1 card, like he will just like, and like this is nothing personal to him. Like what he does with buying and flipping cards, like that's what he does. So like it makes sense. But like he can't talk about the F1 cards when like he barely knows anything about it. Like you have to like really collect it to get it. And he just
Oh
like it's not his thing, and that's perfectly fine that it's not his thing. But like
yeah,
you can't like if it's not your thing, you can't just like jump in head first and expect to know everything. Because wow, I bought Lewis Hamilton. Like okay, like did it really take you any like thought process to buy that? Like he's
yeah,
won 8 championships. It doesn't take you any thought process to buy that. It takes you some
yeah,
thought process to go down and to say, oh, I'm gonna buy Lando. Like even like it's not even that much, but like it's just past that very surface level that those guys just don't do. So like
yeah,
and like I don't even like his card like the for 24K. Is it gonna sell for like his asking price of 40? No, like I think that's ridiculous. But like it doesn't take a
yeah,
rocket scientist to see Lewis Hamilton as a good buy. So like in like the card market, like seeing that like anybody could have really seen that. They looked at it for 5 seconds.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think he, like when it comes down to it, it's a business for him, right? I
Oh,
mean, it's
100%. And there's no, and like that's what I was saying. I don't have anything wrong with that with him because
yeah.
that's like his thing and like and I know that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's for me. It's like, hey, thank you for giving us some attention as a community. Absolutely. I mean, I
Yeah.
joke about it all the time. The Sasha T effect. It's almost like if you do stocks, it's the Jim Cramer effect. There's always somebody right there.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, you need those people. But also, like say he sells that thing. I'm pretty sure that the next person that buys that thing ain't gonna be somebody in the Discord because obviously
No.
we all are collectors at a level where that's a ludicrous number. And only somebody that's buying like the eight-time world champion or future world champion nonsense. Right now is gonna be like, oh yeah, he's a GOAT. Let's buy him. It's like buying a Jordan, right? I mean, that's like buying like a Jordan rookie, right? I mean,
Like yeah, like if I had the choice like right now to go buy a Lewis Hamilton like purple out of 10 or to buy like a PSA 9. Like I don't know the equivalents. Like the markets
Yeah.
on the Jordan 86s are kind of crazy. But like if I
Yeah.
have the chance to buy a PSA 9 or a PSA 9 Jordan 86 or the
Yeah.
Hamilton, like for me it's a no-brainer to buy the Jordan
Yeah.
because like sure I love the F1 cards, but like that's so much more of a safe play. Like I know what that market does like the back of my hand. It'll go up a few percent every year, just like vintage baseball.
Yeah.
So like it's not
Yeah.
that like crazy, but like this Hamilton, like I don't see another way if somebody to buys it for his price where it doesn't go down.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's basketball. Like let's just take of it as basketball, right? The Jordan 86. You're talking like 1986, right? 1986. That card's been around for 30 something years,
Yep.
right? Almost 40 years, right? I mean, it could be. I mean, but you're talking like that kind of longevity, right? This card's been around for 4 months,
Yeah.
5 months. Right. So like, and then on top of that, for those 30 something years, there's people been collecting these cards, which probably stem from their collecting of baseball cards, which then stems from their collecting of maybe football and basketball at the same time. So you're looking at like these collectors that are old money,
Yeah.
and all of the kids that grew up with Michael Jordan in between that got to see him be the greatest, right, and now get money, right.
Yeah.
But a lot of these old money people in F1, they're like the Schumacher people, right? You know, they're like Lewis Hamilton, but Schumacher's always gonna be my guy,
Yeah.
right? So you still got a lot of run up, and to have that Hamilton card be at that kind of bar already, and that Papa variation being 250 grand, you can obviously see if that pop-up variation hasn't sold for 250 grand, then what is it really gonna sell for?
Yeah.
Is it $100 grand card? Okay, great. Maybe I would say maybe the Lewis Supers auto is maybe 75 grand. I mean, 100 grand. I mean, but again, you gotta find somebody.
You need to find somebody to buy that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna buy it. And like as an investor, yeah, you can go and buy that, but that investor has to be savvy enough to understand what F1 can and cannot be, right? To be putting that kind of money up. And again, for some people, like, they can flip a switch and spend 75,000 like there's no tomorrow. But again, they might not look at it from a standpoint of, oh, this is really what I like. I mean, great case in point is when you traded my Lewis Hamilton that I traded you to Evan Longoria for
yes.
Danny Rick. I mean, that guy, if he wanted to just buy a Hamilton,
he could buy like he could buy like every single Hamilton on the market.
Right. I mean, he just got to go hit a home run and boom. I hit a home run last night. I'm going to go buy a red Hamilton. Boom.
Yeah.
And then all the Hamiltons would disappear, right? And that's the kind of people that we're talking about. But do I believe that Evan Longoria is a F1 collector? Hell yeah! Look at the hat he had on.
Yeah.
Right? That sweet Merc hat that I love that hat.
Yes.
Right. And to understand like where some of those some of these people are, there are people that are becoming collectors in this that are transitioning from it. And I mean I'm an engineer by trade, so like I geek out when I watch these things, and other people can geek out too. These card people, they can fall in love with it. I mean,
yeah.
So it's there's a lot of room for growth, and to just be able to say, yeah, he's a 7-time world champion, or these guys they don't even know if you like have them tell you who was the last world champion before Hamilton.
Yep.
Right. Or who won world championships within Hamilton's reign? I mean, they won't be able.
They couldn't tell you, yeah.
Right. Or ask them to name a champion that starts with 4 letters, and then see if they can do it. Right.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't like media. He's funny, but he's super dry humor, and he has like one of the longest last names.
Yeah.
Still, they wouldn't be able to tell you that's Kimmy, right? I mean,
yeah.
And then me as a casual, as actually, I would say I'm a Drive to Survive, a DTS, in-brought, type of person that brought in by. But I've gone back and I've watched tons of the old races and stuff. And I mean, like I joked around with my friend when I was first getting into it. It's like, so so like who's in F1? And we were like talking about, it's like, oh, Lewis Hamilton. I know Lewis Hamilton's name. Let me name somebody. Helio Castroneves. And I was like, yeah, yeah, right. And I'm thinking to myself, how stupid was I? How ignorant? I mean, I remember saying Kimi Räikkönen because I remember Kimi because that was like right in my youth when I was watching a ton of sports, and I remember seeing his name on Sports Center.
Yeah.
You know, and then Schumacher obviously, but I was like, Andretti,
Yeah.
Juan Pablo Montoya, which I think he was for 1 year.
Yeah, he was F1 for a few years before NASCAR.
Yeah, so I mean, very few names, right? But I mean, like being on the American side of the house, right? We've either saw NASCAR or we've seen IndyCar.
Yeah,
and that's about it, right? So, but there was always this thing called F1, and I inherently, before getting into it, really was like, oh, F1 and Indy, isn't that the same thing? Really? You know, and it's not, right? I mean,
yeah.
And it's a certain level of I think personally, a certain like another tier of driver at that level, right? I mean, if you can see Roman go to the Indy and lead a race for a little bit, and saying, wow, he would have never led a race at Haas.
Yeah.
This year, negative. So, you know, you got to see that there's a level of the cars and the technology and also the drivers. Like I said, like these cars wouldn't be, these drivers would not be anything without the cars, right? And we overlook car cards. So, you know, stuff like that. I think there's still a lot of growth within our group, right, of collectors, right? There, you know, there's like I think we've talked about the great pictures, right? The great pictures on cards in this set that are really stand out, and those ones haven't gotten the love that they probably should. Like the Vettel. Vettel is one. I like I mean, you know, I forget who it was that had all the red Leclercs.
I know exactly. Oh, I can't remember who it is, but he has like that one. Like I forget, what does he call? He calls it like the smiling Leclerc or like the cute Leclerc. He goes like cute Leclerc. That's what he calls.
Or something.
Yeah, like cute Leclerc. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one.
The one that I'm thinking of is Jack will not be happy with me. I think you know where I'm going. Lewis 174, the thumbs up.
The thumbs up.
I think that's my favorite Hamilton photo in there. Like it's just like his one of him like standing in his portrait. Like it has like that'll always be the card. But the one of the thumbs up is just such a good Hamilton. If in full smile, like truly what Hamilton like looks like. Like
yeah. I mean, I think Hamilton's sort of become sort of like a villain to a certain extent because, I mean, everybody kind of wants to see something different.
And it's like I think he's more of a villain by like just people like want other people to win, not because like he's unlikable. Like I think he's perfectly likable as a guy. Like, but it's just other people want to see other people win. So like he kind of becomes the villain by default when like in actuality, I don't think he's really a villain at all. He's more like I think of him more as like the anti-hero to F1. Like.
Yeah.
But like people can still root for him, and like I don't have a problem like rooting for Lewis Hamilton to win races, like some people do. But like you just want to see other people win. Like that's how I felt like when I was younger with the Yankees, like or just like Alabama, like college football. Like you want somebody else to win instead of seeing Alabama win like 5 national championships in a row. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean I agree. You know, I mean definitely, but you know. Like stuff like that, it just reminds you of when you could love them for being what they were great at that time, right? I mean, that thumbs up is like, I mean, I see the one where with Vettel running, I'm thinking to myself, that's so Vettel. He's just a goofball.
Yeah.
You know, right? And then, I mean, I personally, like, I mean, it's a driver card, but I do like Kimi giving the little, like, you know, little salute thing on there.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally love the Russell high numbered card. He looks like the damn Stig.
Is that the one where he's with the helmet on?
Yeah, I mean I get him and Latifi's one mixed up because Latifi's one is farther out and
they look the
Russell's
same
right
though.
There. Yeah, but that just reminds me of the Stig. All these other cars. I'm since a Lando guy. I like the Lando sucking the straw out of the water. That's like my favorite card. I had to get that card. The best I could out of that card. And you know you start talking like even the a lot of the Maxes, the one that I think we're talking about in the Discord, the red one with him looking down. I don't know if that's Mexico City or I forget which one that was, but he's
Yeah, like it's
down
funny.
on.
Like Max, like everybody in the Discord, like they have the two different ones. They like that one, and they like the one I don't remember what it is, but it's the one with his helmet on, like the close up of his helmet.
Yeah,
And I don't
yeah,
know why, like because most people don't
yeah,
like the helmet ones, but the people on the
yeah,
Discord are obsessed with that helmet Max card,
yeah.
which is funny.
I don't know if that's his high number driver or whatnot. I mean I personally like the one that he's getting carried on top of everybody's shoulders.
That's a good one, yeah.
But that's a different Max, right? Everybody is like the Max with the brim straight and everything. Like, I mean, it's funny, but it's absolutely the truth. When his brim is straight, he's more business.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great cards in that set that you can really like. That just having gotten their fair share of love. And the time will come, right? The time will come when people will be like, well, I can't get a driver, blah blah blah, of this person, but this other card, I can get a really good number, and I love that card even more so than I love seeing them in their portrait or in their variation, right? I mean, I think where that Vettel card comes in, the Lando card, the cute, a couple. I mean,
yeah.
I personally like I've been trying to find the lowest numbered, like, I mean, that is gonna screw me, but the lowest numbered
I mean, it'll be like this will be like we've been talking for a while. It'll be like like this is for the true like people listen for like an hour and a half. So like
yeah.
you
So
can go
yeah,
for
sorry
it.
to keep you guys like going, but yeah, I like the British GP card where Hamilton's getting
I
thrown in the
love that
crowd.
card, the one with the British flag and him being carried.
Oh
Like I
yeah,
like somebody posted the
yeah.
one of the red, the like I could like a
Oh
red wave of that card. Like yeah,
yeah. I think like, oh man, I think that's like a great card. I mean, like I don't even know what the color match that would make that the best. Maybe the red.
I think red,
Um
but I couldn't even tell you. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I pulled an orange, and I put an orange 70 in, and I was like, oh, it's a 70, and so I got rid of it. I needed to buy something else, so I got rid of it, and then I pulled a 70 out of 25,
yeah.
and I'm like, oh, this is for the PC. I'm not letting this one go. But I love it. I mean, you love it, love them or hate them. Um, you gotta admit that, hey, the guy is a 7-time world champion, and that's
Yeah.
just the bottom line, right? I mean, we may never see another one. I mean, if Maxon gets 7, that means that we all bought the wrong cards, for one. But even if he does, right? I mean, it's gonna be a different time in racing, so
Yeah.
you gotta look at things at errors, in different eras, and like even Vettel to a certain extent, great time when he was there. I mean, I think somebody posted the picture of him with the bunny rabbit hat or something somewhere.
Oh,
Or
that
was
was
the bull.
I think
The bull.
Vettel. Yeah, Vettel one posted the picture of him like with Vettel. He gave him like the knitted Red Bull hat that he wore in Victory
Yeah,
Lane. Yeah,
yeah, that's awesome. I mean, stuff like that. There's you gotta love these guys for when they are at their greatest, and even if they can come back and shine, like it's almost like Tiger Woods coming back to win the Masters.
yeah,
If Vettel could come back and win shucks, any race, right?
and yeah, any real race.
I think the feel good feelings for Vettel come back super quickly, right? Or I mean, jokingly, I don't think Kimi can do it in an alpha, but I mean, like if Kimi could win one,
Yeah,
or so there's a lot of opportunity for whatever way you look at it. I mean, I got a bunch of Ocon, but did I pull out Ocon to sell it to go make some money on? Nope. I mean, that's just part of the PC.
yeah,
It ain't going anywhere. I mean, I understand. Yeah, sell them at what you can and make some money off of them. But if it's PC, it's for me it stays PC. Like Vettel said, he ain't selling. He wasn't ever gonna. I tried to trade for. He had a Lando 4, and I was trying to trade him for that thing. I mean, I would give him half my first. Well, not maybe my first child's shoe, but I was trying to give him like, hey, I'll give you a gold auto of that plus whatever whatever, so that it can make it right, because you're not a Lando guy, right? And
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, stuff like that. I mean, it's good because he's like, yeah, this is my PC, and I'll let you know if it ever, but I'm most likely never will come before that. So that's good to know. So I said, yeah, absolutely. I can appreciate that. So,
Yeah.
so definitely. But yeah, man. Yeah, it's been awesome. This has been awesome. I mean, yeah, sorry to keep everybody's for so long, but this has been super awesome. I mean, this has been a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
No, yeah, and I was just gonna go ahead and wrap things up, but yeah, like I had a lot of fun. And I hope people listening enjoyed, or forever how long. I don't know how many people will make it, however long we talked, but I thought it was really fun, very interesting. We had some nice, good conversations about some stuff that I think were very relevant.
Yeah, I hope. I mean, and if anybody is listening and want to, part of that F1 Discord chat or whatever, this F1 card collecting Discord, or anybody wants to hit me up on anything crazy or stupid that I might have said, absolutely hit me up. I'm cool. I'm always good in for a good conversation. I know we have such great conversations every once in a while, especially when I wake up in the morning and I'm like 125 messages deep, and I'm like, oh my god, what did I miss last night? So, but it's been awesome, and you guys are the best. So that's all I got to say about you guys.
Yeah, and so I'll link for anybody who isn't in the Discord for some reason, who made it all the way through. I really appreciate it. I'll put a link to that Discord down below. And yeah, so Chad, thanks for joining me for however long it was. I had a lot of fun talking. Hope to get you on again at some point. We'll try to rotate through couple people, then get some repeats back on. We'd love to have you back talking more about these cards.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for being one of my newfound friends. Somewhere on the West Coast that I can have great chats with. I mean, I haven't gotten my wife so much into it yet, but I mean, at least I have somebody that I really do have fun chatting with, and I definitely consider you a friend. So I appreciate you having me on here, and good luck in collecting, and good luck everybody as well.
Yeah, all right. So I will be keeping up in touch with you as usual. And for everybody else, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And every week I'm coming out with these with different people. Probably for the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll get some new people on. Then we'll swing back around to some people. I might experiment with doing a 3-person talk. That could be a disaster, but I think that could have potential to be a lot of fun. Really crazy, high energy one. Also want to do one like I don't know how to do this. Maybe more like vintage. I want to get a vintage guy on, talk some vintage F1. Want to mix it around, have some fun with it. But thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you guys all at a later date. So see you guys later.